Chapter 2. When I was at primary school, my best friend was called Elizabeth. She was of Jamaican origin, but she was Scouse through and through, and had an accent so thick it could have unblocked a toilet. Even at 10, Elizabeth knew what she wanted to do with her life, to see the world. She wanted to climb mountains, trek through rainforests, and see as many different places and meet as many different people as she could. I found out last year that she'd graduated from Oxford, travelled for 2 years, and now works with the Red Cross in Stockholm. I mention this merely to illustrate a point, that if a scale existed to measure how adventurous your 20s were, according to conventional wisdom at least, Elizabeth's life would be at one end and mine would probably be at the other. For the past 7 years, until last Friday in fact, I've worked as a nursery nurse in Woolton, a suburb of Liverpool that fancies itself posh. Actually, I'm doing myself down a bit. By the time I left, I'd risen to deputy manager, the youngest they'd ever had, as my mother informs anyone she meets within the first 32 seconds of conversation. This achievement doesn't so much reflect ruthless ambition as the simple fact that I love my work, really love it. Which is a constant relief, given that I embarked on this career after dropping out of my first year of a law degree, something my mother informs anyone she meets within the next 32 seconds of conversation. The real point is that Bumblebee's nursery is precisely 6 minutes' walk from the house in which I grew up, 21 minutes' drive from the hospital in which I was born, and so close to my former secondary school that if you look out of the nursery's attic on tiptoe, you can still see some graffiti referring to a snog I allegedly had with Christopher Timms in the lower 6th. This, by the way, was someone's attempt at irony. At 17, Christopher Timms was renowned for lighting his own farts with such regularity he needed his own fire incident support unit. The pond-like existence I have somehow maintained for my entire 28 years on this earth is, I am fully aware, slightly tragic. But, in my defence, I've got a good excuse. No, 2 good excuses. I found a job I adored, and a man I adored. So why would I want to give them up? I shift in my seat in another vain attempt to make myself comfortable. It's a space that would fail EU regulations for transporting poultry, never mind people. But it's no good. I lost all sensation in my bum cheeks a good 2 hours ago, and I'm not likely to get it back any time soon. I pick up my rucksack for want of something, anything to do, and take out my compact mirror to examine my reflection. It isn't a pleasant experience. I'm not saying that under normal circumstances I'd threaten any of Ava Longoria's L'Oreal contracts, but until recently, I've been relatively okay with my looks. I inherited good bone structure from Dad's side of the family, good legs from Mum's, and I've even, after many years of angst, learned to live with the washboard stomach I sadly didn't inherit from either. At the moment, though, my most striking feature is not the dark eyes or full mouth I used to be complimented on, but my skin, which is so pale I look as if I need basting. I went for one of those spray tans a couple of weeks ago to see if its advertised natural golden glow would sort me out. Unfortunately, my knees and elbows ended up with such an alarmingly orange tinge that I'm convinced the beautician who applied it must have been sniffing glue. To add insult to injury, in less than a month, my size 10-12 frame, the one I took so utterly for granted that I even managed to complain about it at least twice a day, has somehow been replaced with one that is precisely 16.5 pounds heavier and counting. Yes, you heard that right. 16.5 pounds. If you hadn't realised until now that it was psychologically possible to put on that much weight in such a short time, then I assure you, neither had I. But it is, and I have. Probably because I've spent the last couple of months comfort eating for Britain. What has caused all this? Oh, what do you think? A man, obviously. My man. At least he used to be my man. I can now say categorically that Jason Redmond, high-flying accountant, pool champion, charmer of friends and parents alike, oh, and love of my life, no longer answers to that description. No matter how many nights I spend weeping bitter tears.